Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me again here at The Good Life. I am Steve, and as you can see, I'm out here on the balcony again. It's still nighttime, and if you guys are wondering why I'm doing these things at night now, it's because they're building a building over here, and during the day it's so noisy. Even with the noise cancellation on my microphone, it's just too much. So yeah, we're out here at night, and actually I'm kind of digging it. So maybe we'll keep this up. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you really experienced peace? And I don't mean like entertainment, or I don't mean like a distraction, something that just carries you away for a moment. And I'm not even talking about a vacation, which can be kind of, relaxing, but real peace, the kind of peace that makes you, well, breathe a little bit slower, that reminds you that life is actually pretty good. Over the weeks and months, some of you have shared some of your stories with me, and I appreciate that. Some of you are about to retire. Some of you are planning to retire at some time in the not too distant future, and others of you are you're just trying to create a more peaceful life right there where you are, because retirement's just not in the cards for you right now. And I say retirement because I'm at this point in my life, and so that's just the context I use. But what I have discovered is that peace doesn't come from, and I know we got to have money, and I don't like to emphasize it because sometimes we put so much emphasis on it, it stresses us out. And so peace, I know you got to have some, but it's not going to be found in your bank account. It may make life a little easier in some ways, but it doesn't come from a bigger house either. Doesn't come from moving to another country, and although I'm down here, I just happen to be here. But peace comes from habits, small habits, daily habits. So what I want to do tonight is I want to share with you 5 simple steps that to a peaceful retirement. And again, you don't have to be retired to find peace. I think it's important that we seek peace and find it wherever we are along our journey. And all of us are at different places, right? But we need to find peace in that place. And then what I want to do is I want to share with you a little something that I've been working on. And so we'll do that before we wrap up. So stick around. I think you'll enjoy it. And I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do. So let's get started.
9 scars on my heart, but I'm stronger today. Every breath is a gift, every beat is a way. I'm living proof you can rise even after the fall. The good life is here, and I answer the call.
Step number 1. This is the first conversation that we have in the morning, and I think that conversation matters. For me, it's I do this before I check my cell phone. Before I check the news or before I check my emails. Well, I'm thankful I don't get very many of those anymore, but I get some. But I spend a few moments having a conversation with the Most High Yahuwah. For some of you, it may be prayer. For others, it may be meditation, or you're praying to the God of your understanding. But for others, it may be simply quietly collecting your own thoughts before you get going in the morning, because at this point I don't want you to allow the world to tell you how to feel before you have an opportunity to decide yourself. And that's why I say, before you get going, take some time. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 things. So if you only do one of them, I think it'll make a difference. You're probably doing at least one of these already, because these ideas, they actually come from you. And if I'm being honest, I was thinking about going live and start doing live like on Sunday nights, but then I trade on Sunday nights, so that didn't work. And I can't do it during the week because I trade all night, every night pretty much, for 4 nights or 5 nights a week anyway. And then Friday night, no, Saturday night, no, then there's Sunday again. But we'll figure out how to make that work at some point in the future. But the reason I was seriously thinking about going live is because these 5 things that I'm going to share with you guys, they come from you, and I'm benefiting from all the things that you're telling me. But I think that we could benefit from a bit of reciprocity. Me sharing with you what's going on with me, you sharing with me live, and allowing others to hear it, because some people can draw strength and solace and comfort from some of the things that you are telling me. So many people, they wake up in the morning and they hand control of their emotions over to social media. You know what I mean? You wake up, some people, they wake up in the morning and they grab the phone before they even get out of bed, they're already swiping, right? Or they grab the remote and they're turning on cable news or whatever, and or whatever crisis is trending that day. There's always there's always another one. Some start their day, or what I like to do is I like to start my day from the inside out. You know what I mean? Dealing with what's inside here before I start dealing with what's out there. When we deal with what's out there first and then it gets inside of us, I believe it can fashion how our entire day goes after that. And so we sort of lose control over what it is that we should be feeling, what we should be thinking, because we've already let so many other things in. Number two. So number two is brilliant. A young man shared this with me, and he looks like a young man down in Punta Cana. You know who you are, brother, and I appreciate this because, he said something, and number two, or step two, is the $0 sunrise, is what I'm going to call it. So, one of the greatest gifts we get that we don't really appreciate is really free. It's absolutely free every day. The sun rises. Now I know that everybody won't have a balcony or a deck or a patio, but maybe almost everybody has a window. Okay, so maybe we can take 5 minutes to just stand and look out the window and, just take the day in, take the morning in. 5 minutes to watch the world wake up, and 5 minutes to notice that, the light's coming in, the light is changing. 5 minutes to remember that another day has been given to you, and we've been conditioned to believe that the good life requires something expensive. You know what I mean? But it doesn't. Sometimes peace is simply, they say that, the simplest things in life are free, right? So simple. Peace can still be just sitting here on this balcony or wherever you are, enjoying the day, watching the world wake up, watching the world go by for just a moment. Now, I know many of you are still working and you have to be in that grind, but maybe you wake up just set your clock just 5 minutes earlier and take that 5 minutes to yourself, because I think that it will make a difference as to how you move along through that day. It simply shows up, the sun does, every morning, and it's a reminder to us that something beautiful is happening. We get another day. Step three. Step three, I'm going to call the appreciation of ordinary things. Again, the simplest things in life. One of the biggest changes that I experienced in this chapter of my life is learning to appreciate just ordinary things. And this comes from another viewer too, who says that, he appreciates my sharing just ordinary life, just regular life, not doing anything extra, just ordinary things. And so I've learned to appreciate, at this point where I'm slowing down or have slowed down, the smell of a good cup of coffee, and they drink a lot of coffee down here, or the sound of the birds singing, or a nice breeze, and we get those here. It's like an old friend that comes by to visit me every day. Even the patterns in the tiles underneath my feet. But things like the walks I get to take, 3 or 4 times a week. I don't do them every day as I probably should, but I try to get in 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week. And during that time, it's just a really good time. And they say that walking is medicine. I don't think it's just medicine for our bodies, for our physical being. I think it's medicine for our spirit, medicine for our soul. And none of these things are expensive. These things are just life. And most people spend their lives, and I know I did for a long time, chasing the next big thing, the next promotion, the next purchase, the next milestone, whatever it is. And in doing so, I missed the miracle of just ordinary moments in life. I remember when I was, just grinding along and my children were growing up and I'm just going and going and going, and you miss so many of those moments, or I did anyway, and I don't want you to do that. I want you to appreciate those simple things. Peace begins when we stop waiting for life to become perfect, and start appreciating the life that we have at this moment, at this time, and train our minds to appreciate and notice these beautiful, simple things. I think we would all be surprised how much joy we would get if we could realize what's sitting right in front of us. Step 4. Now, this one may be the most important one of all, and that is step 4, to use the mute button. Yeah, because peace not only comes from what we add to our lives, sometimes it comes from what we remove from our lives. Some people spend hours of the day consuming negative, just negativity, negative news, negative social media, negative conversation, negative people, right? Remove some things from our lives. And then they wonder why they feel so anxious or exhausted. At some point, you have got to protect your peace, your spirit. You have to decide what deserves access in your mind. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your participation and input. Not every criticism deserves a response from you. Sometimes the most powerful thing that we can do is press the mute button. Turn off the noise, turn away from it, turn toward the life that you're trying to build for yourself. That good life. Step 5. Now, step 5 is what I call the unseen joy, or the joy of the unseen, however you want to put it. But this step, I think, might actually be my favorite. Okay, so homework. Today, I want you to do something for yourself, right? Something that brings you joy. But here's the catch. You can't tell anyone, right? So, yeah, maybe you take that walk, or you read a chapter in a book, the one that's sitting over there, gathering dust that you've been meaning to get to. And here's one that I missed out for so long. Listen to some music. I had forgotten how much music meant to my spirit, all those years. And then, I got in the grind and I just became this kind of person. And I found that again, and it makes a difference. Maybe you go outside and you sit underneath a tree. How about that? Or call an old friend, somebody you hadn't talked to in, the past year or two, and call them and ask them how they're doing, and actually mean it. Maybe you watch a sunset for a change, or do something that fills your spirit. And then, like I said, keep it to yourself. Now, you may ask me, why, Steve? Why should I keep this to myself? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because some of the deepest joys that we have in our life, they don't need validation. They don't need someone to stand and applause. They don't need likes and shares and comments. They don't even need you to subscribe. You know what I mean? These things belong to you. Think of it as you're building your own private reservoir of happiness and joy. A place inside of you that nobody else can criticize, nobody can diminish, nobody can take it away from you, because nobody even knows that it's there, because you kept it to yourself. You didn't share it with the world. And that kind of joy, I believe, can become a strength to you. A strength that gives you peace. Now, what did I want to announce? Well, before I wrap up, I want to share something I've been working on for a little bit. And actually, I'm a little bit, I feel some kind of way about sharing it, because it lets you in. But then I thought, well, what the heck, you're already in. So here we go. So, some of you have actually, I've actually spoken to one or two of you about a project that I've been working on. And the project I'm calling is Sounds of Judah. And I'm pleased to announce to you that I will be dropping the first couple of albums on this upcoming Friday at 6 p.m. I think Friday is going to be the 26th of June, so at 6 p.m. on Friday. And this music project is inspired by scripture, by history, by awakening, and by faith, perseverance, and hope, because that's what I'm about. And each album is going to tell a story through music and through spoken word, just storytelling. You'll find the albums on a new playlist that will show up on Friday at 6, and the playlist will be titled Sounds of Judah, and I'll be running 2 lanes over there, and I'm interested to see which one does better. Although I do have my opinion, but one of the lanes will be titled New Horizon, and it's going to have that quiet storm kind of feel, so think James Ingram or Patty Austin, maybe Jeffrey Osborne or Regina Bell, that kind of thing, where you have like the bass setting the floor, that Fender setting, keeping rhythm, a little hi-hat on the drums, and oh, that Fender. Yeah, and that Rhodes, that's what sets the mood for that thing. And then there's going to be the other side. Now the other side is, I'm going to title, so you have New Horizons, that's the first one, as a quiet storm feel. And then we're going to have Revival. And Revival is going to be more hip hop. So you're going to get the feeling of Dr. Dre, because I like the way he slows it down, right? And little KRS, because he's a great storyteller. And then Scarface, so there'll be a little bit of that too. So yeah, and this is just the beginning. So a new Sounds of Judah album will be released every Friday, like I say, for the next 5 Fridays at least. That's what I'm prepared for right now. My hope is that these songs will encourage you and inspire you and give you something meaningful to reflect on as you begin your Friday the Sabbath, and then as you move through your weekend. I look forward to sharing this part of my journey with you guys, and thank you again always for joining me on this journey. The fact that so many of you are here sharing it with me, it encourages me, it honors me, and yeah, it's something special to me, so I treasure it. So mark your calendars, Friday, 6 p.m., the journey begins. And Omar, I didn't steal that from you. I'd already planned to say that, right? So let's get back to work, my friends. Retirement. The peace that you have, or that I found in retirement, and I think you'll find it too, that it's not about the destination. It's a practice, something we do on a daily basis. We create it one day at a time, one conversation at a time, one moment at a time, one point of gratitude at a time, one decision that we make, one turn from negativity, and one point of joy, one private act of joy for yourself, right? I do that for myself. If I go for a walk, I do that for me. I do that because it clears my mind and my spirit. And when those moments begin to add up for you, I think something beautiful is going to happen for you. I think your life is going to slow down. Your perspective is going to change. Like I say, you don't have to do all 5. If you can just find 1 or 2, I think it'll make a difference. And you will begin to realize that the good life, it's never about having so much more. I mean, we want to have more. I do too. That's why I trade at night to make a few extra bucks, right? But it's about learning to appreciate what we already have, what I already have. That's what truly matters. So, yeah, I think that's all I want to share. So thank you guys for spending this moment with me this evening. And until next time, do this. Keep seeking peace. Keep choosing joy. Keep walking toward and building your own life, your own version of the good life. Yeah, do that. Many blessings, everybody. Until next time.